endless. Samson, you've been making fun of me. And she stayed on him until he finally told her all of his heart. Your heart's a precious thing. Guard your heart, for out of it are the issues of life. Keep your heart safe. Keep your heart closed to outside influences. We all know what those are. We've all grown up in public school. We know the temptations that surround us while we're there. Kids doing things bad, that's not a new concept. That's not a new thing. The choices change a little bit. When I was in junior high and high school, it was mostly alcohol. Marijuana just started to become popular. Bad choices. Bad choices. I have to tell you, be honest with you, that my life as a teenager was affected profoundly by drugs. I grew up in the psychedelic generation, where we all wanted to be tripping. Hopefully we'd have a good trip. Sometimes we didn't. Sometimes we had bad trips. I nearly bled to death at the end of a bad trip. I was arrested and taken to jail. It's only by God's grace and mercy that I stand here today. At any point in time, instead of cutting just skin, I could have cut a vein or an artery and bled out there in that man's yard. And when I posted Drugs Are of the Devil with Andrew's music page, I wasn't just being cute. I was being serious. The devil's used drugs to change so many lives and ruin them. Great talents in the music industry came to a bad end because of drug abuse. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and the list goes on and on and on through every generation. Wasted life, basically. People waste their lives doing drugs. Samson was wasting his life dealing with the sins of the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. And he finally confessed to Delilah what his secret was. Chapter 16 verse 17, that he told her all his heart and said to her, "No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man." You know, Samson didn't really believe that. He didn't really believe that there was consequences for what he did. He didn't really believe that there would be judgment against him for doing the wrong thing. He didn't really believe that if his hair was cut, that he would lose all his strength. And judgment finally came into Samson's life. And God judged him at the hands of the Philistines. How many times have we as Christians been judged at the hands of the Philistines? God uses many vehicles to bring chastisement, correction, and judgment into the life of the Christians, into the life of the believers. We sometimes want to get so buddy-buddy with God that we forget that our God is a consuming fire. That God holds His name high and precious. And if we sully that name by our behavior or by our words, God's going to take corrective action. We live in a generation today that doesn't believe in judgment, just doesn't believe in correction or chastisement, that believes they can go on and do whatever they want to do without any consequences whatsoever. That's not the way the world is. That's not the way God is. We would like to revisit Peter the night that Jesus was tried. The night that he stood there at the enemy's fire. Peter visited the enemy's camp. He denied Jesus 3 times. But thankfully for Peter, he only visited the enemy's camp. Samson ended up living there. And you can't live in the enemy's camp. You can't live in that place and expect things to be okay. Not if you've ever named the name of Christ. Not if you ever had a prayer prayed down upon you. God won't permit it. God will not stand for it. God will intercede and He'll intervene some way. God will take action. Peter visited the enemy's camp, but Samson lived there. What a wasted life. The potential that Samson had, the great strength that God had granted him to be the deliverer of Israel. And yet he consumed it upon the lust of the flesh. The only time he took action against the Philistines was for personal vengeance. He was not championing the cause of God or God's people. He was taking personal vengeance. That was God's plan for him. You know what God's plan is for your life? It's for good and not for evil. It's for service and surrender, not rebellion and destruction. But there's a hope for redemption.